Now what we're going to do is push the wafers into the furnace. All right. And I'm just going to show you what's going on is that we have the wafers, no wafers in there yet, and I want them to go into this zone where I've controlled the temperature to within a degree. You guys can come around, right? And I want to make sure that I always get into that zone, because if some days I'm over here and some days I'm over here, the temperature could shift and I'm going to get these variances, right? Now, I'm also going to show you how to push it in at the right rate. And you might say, well, why can't I just shove it in? And what it is if I'm even at 650 degrees Celsius and I just shove it in, the outside of the wafer will be hotter than the inside. I can get micro cracks, which can play havoc with your device characteristics. Things will leak, solar cells won't be efficient, right? So we push it in, and then we actually ramp the temperature up. We control it, we do our process, and we bring it back down. Now, why am I using a quartz push rod? Because that's what we have. All right. We do have a grant for a brand new furnace. You take the wafers, put it in, and press go. Go to class, go exercise, go to bed, because some processes are like 12 hours long. Come back, and it's done. But we have to load with this. Now, yeah, I could say, oh, loading it by hand teaches you a good lesson, you know, that you won't soon forget. And kids nowadays don't do anything this way. It might be true, but no, if I had an automatic machine, I would be using it. But something weird happened is it turned out that people who are starting out really like to do it. So they like this thing because it's all analog knobs and there's nothing automated about it really. So now, yeah, it gets quite hot, so we need to use these thermal gloves, but this is just the short course, so I have the furnace turned off so nobody can get hurt on our first day out, right? So what's going to happen is you're going to, and again, the exact details the TAs will show you, but you're ramping it in, right? And then when the furnace is on, this will be very hot, and depending, it'll look like a lightsaber, right? So really, it might seem that the gloves aren't worth it today, and no, they're not, because it's not hot. But you have to also be very careful, is that the quartz rod is delicate. You can't just pull it out of that tube. You can see where it's broken things, and I've broken this pusher a few times. So yeah, you know, I squat down and kind of pull the whole thing out. I push, I pull, right? And then, yeah, I make sure nobody's around. That's why we have to have the buddy system. Although one will time and the other one will push and pull, right? And then I find it, right, to push it back in. And then I lower it and make sure that it just goes in evenly. You don't have to try to get it down the middle of the tube. Once you find it in there, you can just let it rest on that quartz holder and just push it in, all right? But yeah, the other thing is if I had an automated push and pull, it would have to be as long as the furnace, which I can't do it for safety and egress things. And again, it's just one more thing to break. Although the quartz rod, I have broken them, but I have a spare, right? So everything with semiconductor fabrication and semiconductor fabrication education is is all about keeping the equipment running. All right. So those are, you don't have to do these in this order. I just videotaped them in this order. It makes sense. So we're going to break you up into groups, and then the TAs will take you through how to do everything. Again, ask plenty of questions. And then sometimes, depending on the time, we can show you some metrology. We can show you things under the microscope. And I do have other posters for all the courses that you can take in semiconductor fabrication.